with this question concerning this area of reconciliation, this area of racism. Is there racism in the church?
Sure, sure. It's there in its overt and its covert sense. Of course, you know Dr. King talked about the most racially divided hour for 11 a.m. on Sunday. I was on a television show dealing with racism, racism, and religion in Jacksonville. And the church that we had in Jacksonville was 40%, 40%, and then 10%. It was a very diverse church. And pastors would call me and compliment me on, it really says a lot about you to have that type of church. And part of it is if you're diverse as a person, I'm able to make in the same sermon an AC/DC reference, a Two Live Crew reference, and a Kenny Rogers reference. And so somewhere in there, nobody knows everything I'm talking about, but somebody goes, I know what he's talking about there. So, but this is an interesting thing. And he said, I'm a black pastor, and I want to do that too. And I made this statement. I said, well, it's interesting because as a white pastor, having a diverse congregation is a downhill walk. A black pastor having a diverse congregation, an uphill walk. Now, you and I were in a restaurant. This is 20 years ago, and a very nice lady came up to you. We were eating dinner, and you may not remember this, but a lady came and she said, "Oh, Creflo," she said, "I just love you so much, and I'm gonna come to your church there when Brother So and So is there, and I'm gonna do this." And you said, "Oh, you," and this was 20 minutes from the church. "Oh, you ought to come back so and so." "Oh, is he coming in?" And I just remember thinking, she said, "Well, we visit every time," and the people that she named, we visit every time so and so was there. It was a white pastor, preacher was there. And she said, "Oh, and I love you at the Believers Convention. You're so awesome at the Believers Convention." And I realized, just raw truth, for a white man to lead his family under the covering of authority of a black pastor is a much greater stretch from that white man's perspective than a black man leading his family under covering of a white leader. Because the principal, the sheriff, the mayor, they're used to seeing white people in authority at all times. But for many white people, the idea of dropping off their children in the sea of black faces with a black caregiver, even though historically we've used black women as caregivers for white children throughout our country.
You meddling now.
Okay,
Boy,
sorry,
you meddling.
I'm sorry.
You meddling now.
Sorry. But I digress. But now